Good afternoon, everyone. This is Christine Welgus with the National Weather Service. We're going to give another 30 seconds or so to get everyone else signed in here. So just give us another 30 seconds to a minute. Let everybody get on board. All right, everybody, I got 1:31, so we're going to get started here. Thanks, everybody, for joining on kind of short notice. My name is Christine Welgus with the National Weather Service, and I have Mr. David Humphrey, one of our lead forecasters, who is going to carry us through the forecast for the next 24 to 36 hours, and he's going to give you the skinny on what's going to be happening. Hopefully, you all can see the slides. And David, I'm going to let you take it away.
Thank you. We'll walk through the weather and the timing, and then at the end, you can ask any questions that you need help with. So on slide 1, I decided to put the old SPC graphic for our severe weather tomorrow on the left, and then what they updated to just recently. So you can see they bumped the moderate area to just south of us, and but the enhanced and slight is pretty much the same. So overall, I'm sure you've been following it. The thinking is pretty much the same, but just be aware that that moderate area is getting a little bit closer to us. So that's slide 1 of 9. Here's slide 2. And what I'm doing here in the next 3 slides, 3 or 4 slides, I'm going to walk through one of the models, which the models, the short range, high resolution models look very similar. So I picked one of them as a mean, and I'm going to walk through what that line of storms is going to look like for you tomorrow, probably very close to it, we think. You know how models are in the real weather. So, but here's what we're forecasting. So at noon Wednesday, we're approaching our western county warning area border with the line. Then at 3 p.m., it's right on the Mississippi River. So it's trucking, y'all. And look down here in the lower Mississippi Valley where that moderate risk was. The heart of it is really punching out there. We do see some punching out in West Tennessee and maybe up on our border too. So the models are hitting at a wind threat tomorrow afternoon. So that's 3 o'clock, and then here's 6 o'clock. It's a little more linear then, but if you have ongoing cells and certainly discrete cells, it would be ongoing severe weather. And then it moves on out very quickly. By 9 o'clock, it is east of our area. So let's look at the next slide, which would be slide 6 of 9. I wanted to talk about not just the severe weather threat, which, by the way, so that's going to be a line of storms. You're going to have damaging wind as the main feature, but isolated tornadoes on those little punch outs that I showed you are going to be possible. And then in addition to that, we have a wind advisory out for tomorrow. And what I'm showing you here on the right side of the screen is basically the winds off the surface and the lower levels of the atmosphere. And I just want to draw your attention to this red area. This is about midday into early afternoon. And the red area the wind barbs represent 60 to 75 knots of wind. And the red area, even into the brown area, look down here on the bar, it's like outside of the climatological range of what we normally see. So what this is screaming at me here, and then over here in tabular format, see these 30s, we're looking at, this happens like once every 30 years or beyond in the brighter red. So this is a unique signature on the wind forecast. High winds tomorrow. I'll get into another slide showing you the details, but I just wanted to draw your attention to this is outside of thunderstorms. So keep that in mind. And then it wouldn't take much for a thunderstorm to add to that, so to speak. So getting into more details, look at this graphic. These are our peak gusts we expect tomorrow outside of thunderstorms. We're pushing 50 to 55 miles an hour. You're going to have sustained 20 to 30 mile an hour winds with gusts common 40 to 50 and and some pushing 55. And that's our forecast right now. That could, if it goes up to 58 or more, we're going to upgrade that advisory to a high wind warning. And that's very possible. But I just wanted to draw your attention to that. Not just the severe storms, but the very windy day. But that can do a little damage, especially with trees that aren't leafed out yet, maybe still some wet ground. So keep that in mind. And then in addition to the severe threat, in addition to the high winds, it'll be very heavy rain with that line. But fortunately, you saw how fast it was moving. So 1 to 1.5 inches, marginal risk of rainfall exceeding flash flood guidance. You might have some localized flooding, but we think that it's going to be moving fast enough that it shouldn't be widespread, prolonged, sustained, unless you got a scenario where something stalled and it repeated over the same area. So just bringing that threat to your attention. And then, okay, I have 8 slides, and my 9th one there shouldn't be there. So my apology. We'll open it up. Well, I'll hand it back to Christine. We'll open it up to questions.